Hi Scorpios, thank you so much for all of your likes and your shares and your subscribes. I've thoroughly enjoyed interacting with you and I thoroughly enjoyed doing your readings. It's been a lot of fun, so thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your support. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, as you come, Scorpios, you have a sense of you have the Strength card. It's a major arcana card. All right, this is a card of loyalty and trust and internal strength. Okay, you're feeling very strong about your love life. You're feeling very strong about who you are and who you're involved with. Now, it's interesting that I say that because of these next couple cards we're going to be talking about, but you have a feeling of strength about you and about the relationship. So much so, Scorpios, that we have the Knight of Cups in your primary position. And this card talks about initiation, propositions, proposals. Knights bring messages with action. Okay? They don't just talk, they bring action. And you, Scorpios, really do bring action. Okay? Now, the reason why I said this Strength card was interesting. So you may be actually making a proposal of love or talking about wanting to deepen a commitment, all right, or forming a commitment with somebody. Now, if you are in a committed bond, your relationship has been going well and you're feeling, kind of this renewed sense of love. You're kind of getting back into that honeymoon phase where you're communicating your love and you're wanting to take action on it to show that. Now, what's very interesting is what's crossing your card in your challenge or benefit position, and this is definitely a challenge, is we have the Five of Pentacles. And this is a card of feeling kind of left out in the cold. All right? There's a sense of destitute here. There's an unhappy couple. There might be financial issues. There might be a lack of a spiritual connection. But regardless of that, you're not necessarily fully happy, but they're staying together. Okay, they're not walking away from each other. So this is what's interesting because you're coming from such a strong place. You're probably communicating your love, but it might not be being received in the way that you're trying to communicate it. All right? You may be asking somebody out that you're very interested in, and they may not be reciprocating your feelings. And that is what's going to cause what's grounding your situation in your love life, Scorpios, is this Three of Swords. And this is a card of heartbreak. All right? Thoughts about what's going on in your love life, worry, concern. There might be somebody else in the picture. Your partner might be trying to choose between you and somebody else, or at least somebody that you're interested in or somebody that you're kind of dating. Now, if you're in a committed bond, there's definitely one party is wanting to continue with the relationship. One party is wanting to, get back to the good times, get back to the honeymoon phase, but the other party they're not reciprocating in the way that you're needing or the way that you're wanting. It's causing problems. But then, crowning your situation, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And this is a card of compassion and giving. All right? This woman can be a man too, but this woman in this card has reached a point in her life where she's financially stable. She has material belongings. She likes where she is in her life, and she's in a place where she can actually give and assist. Okay? She's very compassionate and very loving. So I'm really sensing that, and I just said this, but I'm really sensing that one party has probably more feelings than the other party does at this time. Okay? It doesn't mean that everything is going to go south, but something's amiss. Okay? One party's trying harder than the other. You have to have a balance in relationships in terms of giving and receiving. And yes, you do get out of balance sometimes in relationships, but you have to get back to that state of equilibrium. And when you don't, or when one party doesn't want to put in the work or put in the communication, it can cause problems. Now, in your future position, you or they are starting to feel a little bit tired. You may be involved with an earth sign because there's a lot of pentacles here. They're starting to feel tired at the amount of work that they're putting into the relationship. Okay? Not necessarily wanting to fully give up just yet, in your near future at least, but there's definitely a sense of tired and exhaustion regarding the relationship. Now, how you feel about the situation, Scorpio, is the Eight of Cups. This is how you feel. All right? You may be feeling that the other party isn't pulling their weight or giving in the way that you need or communicating in the way that you need. And so you may be choosing to walk away. You don't want to. There's 8 cups here. These cups represent our feelings. Okay? The water represents our emotions. The cups hold the water. There's a lot of emotions there. But you may be sensing and feeling that it's time to maybe walk away and go down a different path. It doesn't mean you are just yet. It means you're sensing this. This is the Knight card, so this is our perception and our emotions. So our internal emotions. So you're feeling, not thinking, but you're feeling like you might need to be walking away. How they are feeling about the situation, Scorpio, is we have this King of Wands. They may be looking at you as somebody that is maybe, how do I say this? So water signs are always very emotional, okay? They can be very sensitive. Fire signs, which is represented here in this King of Wands, are very action-oriented. They have feelings, but they like to take action on their feelings. They don't necessarily just like to sit and feel them or sit and discuss them. They want to do something to try to fix it. And so they may be feeling that they need you to do something. And you're probably communicating it, and you're probably trying in your way to show this love and admiration, or to show this willingness to want to work things out. But however you're showing it to them, Scorpio, they're not really picking it up. Because this is how they're feeling about the situation. And this means that they are wanting you to act like this. Okay? So they're wanting you to take action. To try to resolve whatever's going on. Now, you're still both very hopeful. Because this is your hopes and your fears. And this is a beautiful card. This is a card of marriage alliance. It's a card of feeling connected and seeking spiritual guidance. Okay? Seeking counsel from somebody in the spiritual realm, or somebody higher up in your religion, whatever your religion is. Okay, this can also mean talking to a counselor or a therapist. So this is putting forth effort, seeking guidance, so you can put forth effort. Okay, so this is what you're hoping to do. You're wanting to work this out. You're making that very clear. You're feeling the relationship is strong. You're communicating that, or at least you're feeling like you are. But for whatever reason, you or one of you are actually starting to feel a little bit tired about it. But there's still this hope here. There's still this major arcana card, the Hierophant, that states in your hope position that you still want it to progress. You still want to get to that committed level or deepen your bond. If you are in a committed bond, okay, there just needs to be some action and a little bit more communication. Instead of maybe leaving, there needs to be a little bit more willingness to show that you want this to work. And you may be feeling that you need that from them. They may not be really ready to give this to you just yet. Okay. If you are single and dating, okay, you may have your eye on somebody. They may not be reciprocating. You're getting tired of having to play that game. You're getting tired of having to be the only one that shows that you're wanting to make that effort. So you're starting to feel a little bit tired, and you may just walk away. All right, even though you had high hopes for the relationship. Okay, that could be to Scorpio if you're single. Now, in the outcome position for you Scorpios is the Page of Cups. Again, just like the Knight of Cups, bringing communication, bringing action. This is the outcome. So I feel that nobody's actually walking away. Maybe you are for a minute, stepping out emotionally, Okay, but I'm still sensing that there's this willingness to try to work through it, this willingness to continue communicating. Okay, the Page of Cups brings messages of service, brings messages of willingness to work and be of assistance. Okay, it's a very young and fresh energy too. So you Scorpios are really good at that. You're really good at, one thing about Scorpios is they tend to be, or have this air of being a little secretive sometimes. And a lot of times people don't identify with that, or they feel like you're withholding information, so it can cause a little bit of a rift in a relationship. So this is definitely telling you that you really need to just open up a little bit more and communicate a little bit more. Because if they're sensing that you're being secretive, then it's your responsibility. If you really are wanting to get to this state in the relationship, it's your responsibility to open up and be communicative about it. All right? Show them, communicate with them, bring the messages to them. And then they will reciprocate however they will. Kind of an interesting reading for you, Scorpios, actually. One party is wanting it to move forward. One party has high hopes for it. The other party is not getting what they're needing. And it's causing problems, and it's causing you to worry. It's causing them to worry. Okay. All right, let's look at an oracle card. Spirit and Universe, what are the overall messages and overall advice that you have for Scorpios? Mike the Mirror Maker. I always say that wrong. It's Mike the Moyomancer. It says small clues, details, the messages everywhere, patience. Attention to details is important at this time. Little things are not only important in themselves, but they also give you important information about the larger things. Look for the inner hidden meaning in ordinary objects, happenings, and experiences. Life is trying to teach you something by speaking to you gently. With luck and application, you will get the messages before it has to speak to you more loudly. Body language in humans as well as mice may give you a very useful information at this present time, especially if you learn to read it properly. These clues to the answers you seek and the things you need to know are all around you. You are surrounded by omens, portals, and signs, but these signs are not written on billboards or in large letters. They are in the small happenings of your everyday life. Be awake and be aware. Okay? So, I think the message that this card is saying with respect to this reading, specifically Scorpios, is pay attention to their signals that they're giving you. And if you really are wanting to make it work, then step up your game, really. You may be feeling like you're communicating in a way, but they are not receiving it in the way that you're intending, and it's causing problems. So if there is hope in the relationship, and if you do both really want to work on it, you have to learn to communicate and take action in a way that the other person will receive it. Okay? You have to learn how they receive love, and you have to learn how they give you love and appreciate that. They're also responsible for learning how you receive love, and it's their responsibility to give it to you in that way. Okay? All right, Scorpios, thank you so much.